We have to improve our defense industry. We have to make sure that the fragmentation we have in the European Union stops, that we have common European projects. For example, an air defense shield for all of Europe, like it was proposed by Mitsotakis and Tusk, is a project where all of Europeans could say, yes, we take the money, we invest in that, this protects all of Europe. But of course, first and foremost, we have to stand by Ukraine. Ukraine is fighting a war that is freedom against oppression. That's a war that is democracy against autocracy. Ukraine is fighting for our values and all free nations. So we have to support Ukraine in the first place and, of course, ramp up our own defense at the same time. So I have been working very well with Giorgia Meloni in the European Council, as I do with all the heads of state and government. This is my task as President of the Commission.
I share the view that I would prefer not to invest so much money into defense or in helping the Ukrainians. We haven't chosen the war. We haven't chosen the threats coming from Russia and the fascist regime in Moscow. So it is absolutely important for our security to have a free life, to protect our values, to invest in defense. But that does not mean that we should not invest in our social cohesion, because security is obviously about defense, it's about military, but it's also about internal cohesion.
And because Putin will not stop in Kiev. This is why we must win in Ukraine. And this is why we need a real European power, as our friend for Vilnius asked. Because either you are powerful to sit at the table and to defend your interests, or you find yourself in the menu, decided in Beijing and Washington. And that is not a very nice perspective for us. This is why we want to develop a European defense industry. This is why we call for a 100 billion euro plan to boost defense and European defense with joint bonds. We are very credible. Our leader, Macron, Callas, De Croo, our Commissioner Breton have worked a lot on this.
We are at a turning point for Europe, and the question on whether we are going to work together on defense and security is going to be key for our citizens. And yes, we have to work together when it comes to procurement, when it comes to research of development, and this is not only a question on whether we can defend ourselves. This is also a question of whether we are spending taxpayers' monies efficiently, because right now in the European Union we still have too many only nationally focused projects. So the European Union has to work closer together. We need to have a European fund to spend on defense, but also let me tell you this, we cannot only end by spending money together, we also finally have to end unanimity in Council when it comes to foreign and security policy. We cannot give people like Viktor Orban a veto right on our security, so let us end unanimity in Council.
I think the most urgent threat to security is the ecological disaster which we are heading to. And unfortunately, Nicholas, we can spend €1 only once. And now I know that NATO already spends €1.3 trillion on defense. This is 3 times much more than China and Russia combined. European NATO countries spend 2 times more for defense than Russia. And I'm wondering if this is not enough. And that's why I believe we need, for ecological, for political, and also for social reasons, political solutions to the conflicts in which we are in. We need disarmament, we need peace, and we need stability in Europe.